workshop, which is going to be in 6 weeks, is when the guest speaker is going to be here. So I'll be posting more online and sending you guys information. But it's I'm trying to get it. This girl, she's a sports psychologist. She's amazing. She's really, really good. Yeah, to come and talk to you guys about and answer whatever questions you might have. Okay?
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend. Okay. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Beatrice, Tina?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And then since it's you two, it's almost like we're doing a little mini private session today because everybody else isn't here. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna share. Do you guys know? Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see, share content in window. Okay. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So first, I want to talk to you guys about the program itself, okay? The way that I set up the program, the reason that I made it in 3 days, right? Like it's like 3 or 4 workout days and it's mostly like full body is because women, normally you guys want to target your glutes, right? That's the goal of this, is to like target like legs and glutes and have like a nice back and a nice waist and a feminine figure. But not everyone has the same preference when it comes to their workout split. However, statistically, this is the split that women enjoy the most. And so the reason that it's built the way that it is so that you can have a balanced, like feminine figure. Okay, so I program it based on volume. And so I don't just give you random exercises, and it's not just like, okay, you're doing all these upper body exercises. In reality, what I do is that I calculate the amount of volume per body part. So specifically for glutes, right? And for your legs, you're going to have much more volume in the program because we're trying to grow those muscles a bit more. The other ones aren't going to have as much volume because we're just working on strengthening. You're still going to get definition and you're still going to have like nice arms and whatever, but it's not going to be, you're not going to have as much in your program. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what do we need to burn fat? This is a question that I get a lot from everybody. A lot of people will be like, I don't understand. I'm working out, I'm lifting, but I haven't noticed like any changes in my body fat percentage, or I feel like I'm gaining weight. And people start to get really nervous when they gain weight. They'll look at the scale, they see that they're bigger, or they try to put something on and they feel like it's more snug on them. And so then they start to get self-conscious because they think that they're bigger, right? So women have this fear of being larger. I'm assuming both of you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So the reason that it's no, okay. The reason that I want to talk to you guys about, hey, the reason that I want to talk to you guys about this specific topic is because, well, I want you to ask me as many questions as possible regarding this section, because I know that a lot of women have this insecurity. It's not just you and Beatrice. It's not just you, Tina and Beatrice. It's so many of the other girls that, are in the group that have brought this up to me, that have been working out, that lift weights. At the beginning, I know, Beatrice, when you started lifting, you started to get a little self-conscious about putting on muscle, right?
Yeah.
And you were like, Laura, I feel huge. And I was like, no, but you're not. Like, you're super strong and healthy and lean, right? And Tina, you mentioned to me recently that you felt a bit self-conscious about your body composition, right?
Yeah, I just feel thick. I don't feel fat. I feel
Yeah, you feel thicker. Yeah. So can I ask you guys, like, why does having more mass to you, especially if it's muscle, why does it feel like a bad thing?
I just feel like, I can recognize I have a good shape, like physique for sure. And when I take photos by myself, like you can't really tell. But if I'm like taking a photo with a friend, like now there's like a scale to be compared to. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
So it's when you compare yourself to someone else that you start to become aware of your size.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you, Beatrice, what is it that makes you feel self-conscious about it?
I don't I think it's the clothes, really. I know
The way
that
things
sounds weird,
fit?
but because I went through periods of my life, like as a kid, where I was really chunky for a long time, and it's like it was a good feeling to finally like fit in normal clothes when I got to like an adult stage. I didn't for pants because I'm tall, but like it's more like when I start feeling that tightness again in the clothes, it like takes me back to that
That
mindset.
feeling. Yes. Yes. This is amazing. You guys are bringing up really amazing points. Thank you. So, exactly, that feeling that you guys have, that fear of, you know, what's it called, of comparing yourself to other people. You, Beatrice, you're comparing yourself to yourself, right? To your past self, right? You're using yourself as a reference point. Okay? So the past self that you weren't necessarily comfortable with, that you felt had insecurities, those things still are, there's still triggers right now that are going to make you feel that way. Tina, I'm assuming for you it might be that you've compared yourself in the past to other people and you felt like, maybe for me as well, like my beauty standards, I always felt like I was very different from my friends. I didn't look like my friends. I was a bit curvier. I was taller. You're both taller women too, right? So having more presence, having like being different, attracting attention, it makes you very aware of yourself, right? And so you start to compare. But what's crazy is that if you were to actually go back into like your younger self, right? Beatrice or Tina, if you were to go back to your younger self and she were to see you now, right? Or if you were to see your younger self now, you know, then the conversation you would have with each other is the most important thing, right? That's what would make the biggest difference. And your younger self, Beatrice, if she were to see you now, she'd be like, holy shit, you look amazing. And Tina, yours would say the same thing. And she'd think, that you're a badass, that you're working hard, that you're working out, that you're doing all these things that like, Tina, you're literally chilling at Soho House right now, like younger Tina would be like, damn girl, like this is amazing, you know? So we put we take value away from ourselves when we deny everything that we've done to get to where we are, first of all. Like the second that we start, and so those insecurities, they come from worrying about how we are going to be perceived by others. So when it comes to your clothing, Beatrice, right? Can I tell you something? I have super tiny boobs, but I wear a size large or medium in most of my sports bras because I have a big back. Okay. But my big back is what gives me an hourglass shape. So everyone's always like, oh, how do you like get like your hourglass shape? Like my body type, and you guys are seeing the pictures here of me here, right? I hold my weight on my tummy. Okay, like when I gain weight and it's like unhealthy weight and I'm not working out and I'm not staying fit, like my weight comes here. When I'm working out, obviously my weight is here, right? So when I'm healthy and my arms are bigger, my arms are way more muscular than they were in these photos. But would you say that I look like healthier or less healthy if we compare these photos?
Definitely healthier.
right? Healthier, but I'm way heavier in this one. Like I'm 10 pounds heavier in this one than I am in this one.
Gotcha.
Okay, I weighed like 140 pounds here. Here I weigh 150 pounds. So I'm bigger. Pant sizes definitely bigger than over here. Bra sizes, sports bras, definitely bigger here than I was here. But like I look so much more fit, right? So that's perception is so important. The way that we see ourselves, what we compare ourselves to, and we have to catch ourselves when we're not being rational about these changes, right? Like for you, it's Beatrice, it's a trigger when you feel the sensation that your clothing is tighter on you, but you weren't made to fit into clothing. Clothing is made to fit you, right? So things that were flattering for me that are here, honestly, aren't as flattering on me now because of the way that my body shifts and my body changes all the time. Like right now, I have a little bit more body fat than I normally do because I'm not moving as much. And so the same things that I was wearing maybe last year aren't going to be as flattering on me now. But I don't determine my self-worth based on what fits me now and what doesn't, because my self-worth comes from the actions that I take on a daily basis, right? My self-worth comes from how I show up for myself, right? Right? So your self-worth and your strength and all of these changes in your body, they come from deliberate, intentional action. That's why it's important to understand that when your body is changing, if it's changing because of intentional actions that you're taking, then the feelings associated to it should most of the time be positive. Okay? It doesn't mean that if there's certain changes, like sometimes I get really crazy in the gym and I start lifting with my upper body a lot. And then I'm like, okay, I need to slow down because I do get like a lot bigger. And then I'm like, okay, I need to balance this out. But I don't get like, I don't feel um I don't feel insecure. I'm just conscious that it's perhaps not the aesthetic that I'm going for, so I need to make adjustments. Okay? So that being said, Tina, you brought up something to me where you said, perhaps your body composition right now isn't where you want it to be ideally, even though you're very healthy and you look great. You have to take into account what are the intentional daily actions that you're taking in order to get you to where you want to be. And does it make sense? Is it aligning, right? So energy balance, okay? All of that to get to this. Energy balance is the most important factor when it comes to your body composition, okay? Obviously building muscle mass and maintaining muscle mass while like burning fat is pretty challenging, right? But building it is challenging, but maintaining it is not. As long as you're reaching your protein goals, putting yourself into a slight deficit is what's going to allow you to burn fat. Okay? If you're someone who wants to build muscle, but you don't necessarily want to gain a lot of fat and you're already pretty lean, right? Then what you want to do is slowly increase your calorie intake. Okay, so gradually increase your calorie intake and always paying attention to your protein, but your physical activity has to complement it. So everything in your life has to really complement each other. So if I give you an example, right, for energy balance, in this photo here, I was doing a lot of HIIT, okay? So I would do a lot of cardio exercises. I'd do like maybe 30 minutes a week, or I do like 3 workouts a week, but then the rest of the time I was sitting. I was sitting at work, I was sitting at school, I wasn't walking a lot. I wasn't doing like anything else like with my day. My physical daily activity wasn't very high, and I was actually eating very little. Like my caloric intake was very low because my metabolism was slow. I didn't have a lot of muscle mass in this picture. And muscle mass actually requires more energy to sustain itself. So I was eating fewer calories, but terrible ratios, okay? And here I'm eating more calories, but more appropriate ratios to my body. And I was walking and moving a lot more. So walking, having a daily physical activity in your life, that's what's going to get you to burn fat. So Beatrice, you're a pretty good example of, because your job demands you to stand a lot and walk a lot, right? So you spend a lot of time on your feet, right? You spend a lot of time moving. And then you also like to do cardio, right? And then you lift, okay? And you have a pretty consistent diet. Okay, so like you eat like the same foods pretty often, and like you do switch, but you have like your staple foods that you like to eat, you have the staple foods you like to eat for breakfast, and you have a pretty high protein diet. Okay. What's something that you noticed when you started training? What do you feel had the biggest impact on your overall body composition?
Definitely eating more while hitting the weights, I guess. That's like the best way I can put it. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
I wasn't eating that much before I started the program. So I was eating maybe like 1,500 calories like daily. And it was mostly carbs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly. And Tina, the changes that you made was adding tennis, right? So you added tennis to you added tennis to your routine and lifting, right? But did you make any significant changes intentionally to your diet?
I don't know if I call it a change because like the types of food I'm eating and what I'm eating has always been consistently healthy and high protein. I would say maybe I'm just like eating too much of it. So I don't think I'm in a deficit. I think I'm more so like either maintaining or just in a slight surplus.
Okay, because the thing is, when you eat, do you find yourself eating, do you eat out often?
Not really.
No?
I cook a lot, so.
Okay, exactly. So, but you haven't made any significant changes to your diet. However, even though you didn't make any changes to your diet, when you started playing more tennis, did you notice a change in your overall body composition?
I want to say no.
I'm personally gonna say I noticed a change. So it's hard for sometimes, and she's like, no, I didn't. It's hard for us to see it sometimes, but I noticed in you that when you started playing tennis, that you leaned out a bit. Okay, that's just my perception. But the thing is that if you at first you introduce tennis to your routine, right? And you're lifting, okay? You're going to put yourself into a deficit because you're now moving more, right? But then your body is going to want to adjust the calories. So without realizing it, you might have become a little bit hungrier. So your body just balanced out again. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, when we start identifying what our energy expenditure is, how much we actually burn during the day, how much activity we do, how much we lift. All of that is important. It seems like a lot at first, but it's the only way to determine whether we're eating enough, we're eating too little, or we're eating too much based on what our goals are. Okay? And I know you have a healthy diet, right, Tina? But the thing that I think is the most important is not just is it healthy, but what are the ratios? Because you see, Beatrice was mentioning that she was eating a lot of carbs, but her diet has always been pretty healthy. Like when she told me about her diet, like she showed me her diet, her food was healthy, everything she was eating looked really good, but the ratio of fats to carbs to protein was off. Okay. So once we adjusted those things, right? You used the picture journal, right?
Yeah. It's still a little off. We'll get there.
It's okay. So is mine. It's not about it being perfect. It's about just being a little bit more intentional about it so that you benefit more. Okay. So cardio. Okay. Tina, you do tennis. Beatrice, you run. Okay, I have some girls that run here. I have other women in the group that do tennis as well. So there's girls who do boxing, some like to walk. But the part that people have the most trouble with, if they don't have a physically demanding job, is actually just being active throughout the day. Okay, so that's why the cardio is something that I want in the program for your heart. It's mainly for your cardiovascular health. When it comes to body composition and fat loss, it's actually all of the movement that you do outside of the gym that matters the most. Okay? So staying physically active throughout the day and intentionally adding movement to your day is how you'll do that. Okay? Why are we lifting these specific things? So lifting is going to help you guys with your overall metabolism. So I know, Tina, you were getting a bit nervous about lifting, and you were saying that, you weren't really enjoying it anymore. The thing about lifting is
I'm
it
not
doesn't
enjoying it anymore, and I feel like I'm just like not like okay. For bicep curls, I used to be able to do like 15s, like pretty challenging, but still being able to push. And now I feel like it's a lot. It's so much harder, and so it feels like, am I getting weaker? So like my mindset is like, if I'm lifting heavy and I'm supposed to be building muscle, it feels like I'm almost doing the opposite. And back to like, why am I putting my body through pain? It's like there's no progress being made if these 15s feel harder, if not when it's supposed to be easier.
right. And when you're saying that it used to be easier, you're comparing it to when?
Um, Maybe when I just used to work out a lot more, like definitely more often than I do. Um, and just like I enjoyed it. Now I just feel like it's just harder and motivating.
Mm-hmm. And so when you say, okay, so you were working out more often, which obviously, like, if you increase the volume, it makes sense that it's going to be easier for you, right? Like, conditioning is a thing. So if you're not conditioned anymore, you're going to have less neuromuscular connection with your muscles. Like, that was redundant, but you're going to have less neuromuscular connection. You're going to struggle not only recruiting the muscles, but you're going to struggle with stabilizing your body. You're going to struggle with all these other things that, like, as you do them repeatedly, become second nature. When you stop, you have to restart with that part because your brain is part of the equation. So not only is mental endurance a part of it, right? If you're only doing it once a week or twice a week, let's say, um, whereas you used to do it 4 to 5 times a week, that's going to create a huge shift in the way that you feel. You're not going to get as strong as quickly, which is not a problem, but you have to be realistic about it. You're going to notice the difficulty a lot more because you're not going to be constantly switching from body parts. You're going to do, let's say you're doing your bicep curls once a week and then you're doing them again the following week, right? You haven't conditioned the muscle enough to adapt faster. Like, you're adapting, the adaptations are going to be a little bit slower. But there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's more like if you're not enjoying it, because lifting is hard. Okay? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Lifting is always hard. Like, I have to work out today and I'm exhausted. I don't feel like working out today at all. I do not want to go to the gym. It's a leg day. I absolutely do not want to do a leg day today, but I have to. And I've been up since 7 a.m. I already coached clients. I'm doing this. I have another client later. I have another client after that. I have to work and then I still have to work out. And I have zero desire to do it, but I have to. Why do I have to? Not because I get to. First of all, I get to work out, which is a privilege, right? But I have to work out because I have specific goals that I want to maintain. And I know that it's not possible for me to maintain those goals or to even reach those goals if I don't do it. So it's not even about whether I enjoy it. It's not about whether it's comfortable. It's about what is the truth. The truth is, if I don't do it, I'm not going to see results. Period. That's it. However, that being said, Tina, my love, I am going to do exercises that are suitable for me, that work with my body, that aren't going to cause me pain, that aren't going to cause me discomfort. Yes, they're going to be difficult. Yes, my muscles are going to be exhausted and stuff, right? But I'm not going to be like, why am I doing this to myself? This hurts. This isn't enjoyable. I'm working on muscles that I don't want to grow. So that's why having a program that aligns with your preferences, your routine, and your goals is more motivating, right? Than just showing up to the gym and doing random things that you don't necessarily know why you're doing them, right? Like, I know that I did my 3 workouts this week, and sorry, my 2 other workouts this week. This is my 3rd. I have to do my 4th tomorrow, and I'm done. And then I have 2 rest days if I want to. You know what I mean? So discipline is by far the most important. Discipline, consistency, and energy balance are going to be your 3 factors that are going to make the biggest difference when it comes to seeing results. Okay? So does that kind of like answer a little bit of your question, or?
Yeah.
You can say no.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. It's just like you said, it's the truth.
It's just the truth. Like, we just have
It's
to
just
be
the truth.
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to be honest with ourselves, right? Like, what is the difference? And then also here, so that being said, I told you guys, we live for our hormones, we live to promote fat loss, but we also need to make sure that we're staying aware that we are women, and that it is important to track our menstrual cycles. It is important to have compassion with yourself, understand that you're not always going to feel like super energized and ready to work out and ready to tackle all of these things. Like, sometimes you have cramps. Sometimes you're overwhelmed. Sometimes your hormones go up and you're emotionally overwhelmed and you're stressed and your cortisol levels are really high. So we do this. Why do we work out? Can you guys answer that question for me? Realistically, why do you work out?
For better health,
Right? And
longer
Health,
lives.
aesthetic. In
aesthetics.
case anyone wants to chime in.
Yeah,
Um,
your strength to defend yourself. So
to
these are
live
all
longer.
valid. To live longer, exactly. These are all valid reasons why we work out. But we work out because it aligns with our values, right? Because we love ourselves. So if you guys look at training as a form of love, of self-love, and you shift that mindset and you tell yourself, well, I move because I love myself, not because I have to, not because someone's forcing me to do it, not because I'm trying to look a certain way for someone else, but because this person, because me, I like to see myself looking jacked. I like to be strong. I like to feel a little bit, more agile, and I like to know that my bones are strong and that I'm healthy and that I can run and that if I needed to fight somebody, I could defend myself. Like, right? Like, those are all things, like things that we care about ourselves. So as women, it's important to show ourselves love and compassion throughout our entire cycle. Because we are constantly changing. Our hormones are constantly changing. And so we're like the seasons, you know what I mean? In 1 month, you're like going through all of these different things. Like, you have to adapt, right? Like, you have to adapt. You're not gonna wear your summer clothes in the winter. You know what I mean? Like, you have to adapt, right? Definitely not in Canada. So the goal here is is for you guys are lucky that you're not here, okay? Both of you. One of you is in California and the other one is in Florida. And I'm like, hello. It's cold here right now. What?
She's like, you don't have to wear your summer clothes like in the winter, and we're both just like,
I'm like,
yeah.
I do that. Yeah, can't relate.
You're like, I do that all year. I'm like, stop. You know what I mean? You've both been here, okay? You know what it's like. So that's what I'm saying. It's like when you're on your period, like, you have to adapt. your nutrition, you have to adapt your training. And so if we show ourselves compassion throughout, it becomes a lot easier to see when, you're not going to judge yourself as much. You're not going to judge yourself as much, because I think the reason that a lot of us struggle in this group, because all the other girls, I'm telling you, everybody shares similar struggles, is because we're all really hard on ourselves. So that negative self-talk, like I said, if we do things with love and we do things intentionally, the actions that we take, if they're intentional, the results, we're going to be proud of them. We're going to be happy about them, and we're going to be okay with them. We'll be able to accept them. Like I said, I've gained weight or fat or whatever, and it doesn't bother me because I knew it was going to happen, because I intentionally made decisions about my routine and my schedule that I knew would affect the way that I look a certain way and the way that I feel in the gym. But it's okay because I did it on purpose. When throughout the month, when I have cravings, when my period's coming up, the second that I have cravings, I check my menstrual cycle and I'm like, aha, I'm like, it's coming up. So I prepare for it. I schedule my workouts in a way that's like, all right, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to schedule my upper body so that it falls around when I'm going to get my period. And that way I can actually enjoy a workout on my period. You know what I mean? So I try to adjust and be aware of myself. So those things are important. It's important for injury prevention. It's important for just overall well-being and mental health. And that way, if you end up having cravings, if you're being really intentional about them and you buy yourself some treats on purpose and you don't just binge or let yourself go, like you're like, I'm getting my period, so I'm going to go buy myself a little treat and I'm going to be happy and I'm going to enjoy it and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. If you allow yourself to do those things, you'll be so much more excited to push yourself in other ways as well, because you're showing yourself love, compassion, and discipline. Okay. This we've already gone through. Like, the reason that we target different parts of the glutes is because everybody, there are different exercises. Hinging, we want to stretch the muscle. You want to do the glute med, the glute max, the glute min, but then also there's other parts of the glutes, like internally, it's a huge muscle complex. Okay, so there's a lot of volume, and the thing is that there are certain exercises that are going to target the full glute, but in order to have a very nice aesthetic shape, you do need to target all of those different planes of motion. Okay, so the program is structured in a way that is going to allow you to target all of those parts of your bum. Okay, so that you can have the roundest booty. Okay, so just make sure that you're doing all those things. Stretching and mobility is important because it allows for better range of motion, better muscle activation, and it reduces tension. Okay, breathing exercises. The breathing exercises in the program, I'm going to be adding in the next block way more breathing exercises, and deep core exercises. I have a lot of women in the maternity program right now that are doing them, and honestly, guys, these exercises are amazing. I was filming them for you guys, but as I was doing them, I was like, man, I think I'm going to do these every day. So they're very simple, but they're going to help a lot with stabilizing the hips, stabilizing the core, and allowing you guys to push even more in your bigger movements. Okay, and to feel safer and to feel less uncomfortable. So please don't skip mobility. Please don't skip the stretches. I'm trying to keep it to a minimum. I'm trying to keep it to 4 stretches max, so that you guys actually do them. And so far it's been working. Okay, everybody's been logging their workouts. I've been seeing a lot of workout logs the past 2 weeks, and I'm super excited. This group is crushing it. Okay, so even for the girls that aren't here who are going to watch this later, I just want to say shout out to everybody for logging their workouts. And for Beatrice, your calendar is crazy. Let me tell you, I went into your calendar the other day and it's just green all over. I just see workouts and runs everywhere.
I just feel bad because I keep forgetting to log the weights. Yesterday I did balance upper body, and so it's probably all the cardio stuff is what you're saying.
No, but you have your lifting sessions in there too. Maybe not all of them, but it's okay. At the end of the day, what I want is for you guys to use it So like sometimes I go in and I forget to log my thing, but I'm being much more intentional about it. And because I'm being more intentional about it, I'm more excited because the app, it tells you what your PRs are. It'll tell you if you have a personal record, if you've advanced. It'll help you with the load calculator, like you can calculate. Um, so for tracking, right? It's better for me to have you guys log because then I have more data on you. So the more data that I have, like the more specific data that I have on your overall like training, your activity levels, your stress levels, all that stuff, that helps me determine what I need to either change or add or like to help you reach your goals more efficiently. Okay? So that because if I have the less data I have, the less I know about you, right? And the less I know about you, the less I can help you. Okay, so that's the only reason that I want you guys to like get into the habit of doing these things. And like I'm trying to share like my habit tracker with you guys and all these things. So for the check-ins, okay, I'm going to be changing I'm changing except for you, Beatrice, because I know you like the habit tracker that you have, you like right now, right?
Oh, you mean like the daily check-ins?
Yeah, the daily check-in.
I mean, I think it's fine the way it is. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good? Okay. So I was gonna change everybody else's to make them all like a little bit more simplified. They're gonna be pretty similar to the one you have actually, Beatrice. So, and so I'm gonna be, because we already adjusted yours when we were doing one-on-one. So I'm like, I know that yours is good. But I'm going to be adjusting the daily check-ins so that they're a little bit more simple. And then the check-ins, I want you guys to do, I want everyone, including you bitches, because this is something you need to do. The check-ins and the progress photos are important because Tina, like you tend to, like you said, compare yourself to other people. Having the photos just in the app, you don't have to go look at them, you don't have to refer to them, but being able to have those photos in there is a good reference point for the future so that when we compare, you can't deny to yourself that you've made progress. Because Beatrice, if we were to compare your first pictures to the ones that you would take now, there would be significant changes in your posture, in your shoulders, your back, your glutes, like all of these things have changed. And you know what I mean? Like it's visible in the photos. You're like making
What it is that I want to get me on like a good day, but it's like the moment I have to do it, I'm like, oh no, I'm like bloating, and I don't want to compare to the other day.
yeah, but
I
that's
gotta
yeah.
do it, yeah, for sure. I
Yeah,
gotta be honest with
exactly.
myself.
So choose, that's the thing that I tell people. Choose a day and a time every month. Like check your cycle, okay? Do it during ovulation or whenever you feel, no, seriously, like that's when I do it. Whenever I feel like my best, because I actually am going to be making a post about this probably today, but about how like I measured my waist when I was PMSing and it was like 5 inches bigger than it is when
Yeah,
I'm ovulating, literally.
same.
So I'm like, like how are you going to compare? Let's say then the next month you measure yourself when you're ovulating, doesn't make sense. Like you're not going to get the same the data, the controls are all off, you know? So you need to set controls, which is say the same time of the day, same time of the month, and in the same outfit, same lighting, all that. Okay. So same place, same outfit, everything. All those details matter because those controls are going to give us the most objective, like, you know, data basically. So, so that being said, the check-ins, I'm going to have them at once a month. So everybody's going to have one check-in per month. It's so much easier to do and it's going to require measurements. So you're going to measure your waist and you're going to measure your glutes and you're going to measure whatever other muscle in your body that you're trying to grow or whatever body part that you want to lean out in, for example. Like I want to lean out my arms a little bit. I have to lean out my whole body. Obviously, I can't choose where I'm leaning out, but I don't want to lose muscle mass. So I want to make sure that my bicep is still pretty like I want it to be bigger to be honest, but I want to be leaner. So I'm gonna like measure my body fat percentage and I want to make sure that my biceps are still big and that my glutes are still big. Okay. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask why the biceps specifically.
Because it's so hard for me to grow them. It's so hard for me to grow them. Like, it takes so much effort out of me to grow my biceps, and like, you don't understand how long it took for me to even be able to flex and for me to say that I have a bicep muscle. Like, it took me years, years and years of hard work. Okay. So my biceps can't go anywhere. They already got smaller and I'm already sad. So I want to get leaner and I want to have my biceps, but like, those are my goals and I have to be realistic about them. Okay. So I need to do the check-ins. I'm going to be sending you guys my check-ins on the chat. So you guys are going to see pictures of me. I'll show you guys my progress. I'm going to show you guys what my cut is going to be like. And I'm going to be fully transparent with you so that you see that, I'm in this with you. We're doing it together. When it comes to the supplements during this program, the things that I want you guys to take in are you need to have at least 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, okay, per serving, in order to make it as efficient as possible. Realistically, if you had one massive meal with protein per day, like, that'd be fine. You would still get all of your protein for the day. Your body would still like synthesize it and use it and whatever. But like, you you can't um you can't really repair muscle efficiently unless you're distributing the protein throughout the day. So the most efficient way to build muscle, if you're trying to build muscle, if you're trying to grow your bum, if you're trying to speed up your metabolism, unfortunately, you do need to spread out your meals throughout the day. That doesn't mean that you have to be eating it all day long. It just means that first thing in the morning or the first meal that you have, you want it to be protein based because your body is going to immediately use that to repair. Okay. And you're going to be satiated, you'll be full, so you won't have cravings after. And then you can have another meal that is protein dense and has carbs, so you have energy and you can work out. Okay. Creatine definitely is a supplement that I recommend everybody to use. Okay. You need to be extremely hydrated if you're taking creatine, but it does enhance power, and like, it enhances your endurance as well. So like, when you're working out, it'll give you, like, Tina, like, how you said that you were doing bicep curls and you were getting a little more tired. If you're taking creatine, it's gonna help you last longer in your workouts. Okay. Huh? You have creatine? I can't. I don't know. I can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna wait to see if
I've never actually. I was looking for creatine yesterday, which is funny, because I've never eaten it
yeah.
before. So I wasn't sure where to start, and I was like, "Oh, ask Laura when we get to the meeting." But
Yeah, here we
like,
are.
how to eat it? Like, what are good brands, stuff like that.
Right. So you want to get,
Hydration.
yeah, exactly. So you want to get creatine monohydrate. Okay, that's the one that you want to get. It's the one that's like the cleanest. Okay, so you want to get creatine monohydrate, and you can look up brands. Just try to look for one that's like the most clean, that comes from a factory, that doesn't have like a million other things that they do there, so it's not like cross-contaminating with a bunch of other shit. So yeah, just like the cleanest kind of like companies that do this. And then you want to start with, like, you can start by loading up. So you can take 20 grams or 10 grams, 15, it depends on your body and like your weight and stuff. But you want to take like a minimum of 15 grams. So it would be like maybe 2 to 3 scoops of creatine to start. So you're going to load up your body, and then you can lower down to 5 grams a day. Okay. And it's just one tiny little scoop. And what I do is I just mix it with my water and I take it. Like, I haven't taken it for the past 2 months because I wasn't training as crazy, but like, now I'm back to training hardcore and I'm exhausted all the time, but it's okay. And I'm
So why do you take like large amounts of it to start?
So it's because our bodies already produced creatine. Okay. So in a way, it's like um, by providing a surplus of creatine in your body, your body is more likely to actually use it and not just flush it out. You know what I mean? I think that like makes a bit more sense. It's kind of like a vitamin. Like sometimes our bodies, like when you take a vitamin that your body already has, it's not gonna use it. It's just gonna, you're just gonna pee it out, right? So
Right.
so with creatine, it's kind of like the same thing. So you're like loading up your body so that it's more likely to use it. It's not going to have any negative effects. You're just going to you might get a little bit bloated if you don't drink enough water. You will have to pee a lot at first, but that's what I mean. Like
And then when do you
after
eat
a
it?
week, after a week, you just, before you can, I normally would take it before a workout. So like right before, maybe an hour before, even like 15 minutes before is enough. Yeah, so it's literally like it's a little powder and they say like an hour is best so that your body has like time.
I feel like I've had it like in sport, like in other products without
Yeah,
realizing it.
like maybe like
Lifetime?
BCAAs or like so you see here
Yeah.
there's BCAAs and caffeine. So pre-workouts sometimes it's rare that they'll have creatine, but sometimes you'll have BCAAs, I think, and creatine. Sometimes you'll have there's all these like amino acids and stuff that you'll find in these supplements they're basically just there to um help you with energy, endurance, recovery, and like just like overall performance. It's like they're more like performance supplements, but they help a lot. So when you're taking creatine, it's a lot easier to do resistance training. Like you're not going to benefit from it if you do cardio, but if you're lifting your muscles, it's basically taking it's like delivering more stuff to your muscle cells. Right?
On
So
that
it
note,
helps.
if you're like I just started introducing the cards. Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions.
No, ask
Um,
all the questions.
if you started introducing like cardio into like I do it before the weights. I don't know why that works for me, but it does.
If it works for you, it's fine. If you don't feel like it's like tiring you out,
Yeah.
then it's good, like it's fine. But yeah, continue.
So like in that sense, like when like I'm trying to figure out the timing of a lot of what I eat because I'm starting to like kind of make those missteps and like correcting them. So what would be your suggestion if I do like a 20-minute jog before a workout kind of thing for
Like when it
creatine?
comes to like your creatine and stuff,
Yeah.
you can take it. So basically, because it's a performance supplement and because it's like providing your muscles with energy, running before isn't necessarily going to like cancel out the creatine, but running before a workout either way is going to fatigue your muscles. So you will have less yield from your muscle regardless. So
Okay.
it's kind of like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because like you said, it works for you. It works in your routine. Like you're still benefit like when you're lifting, running before doesn't mean that the session afterwards is completely like useless now. It's like it doesn't completely negate the benefits of that workout. It doesn't mean you're not going to build muscle. It just means that your threshold for pushing yourself, like your endurance, is going to be a little bit lower. So taking creatine might help because it'll kind of juxtapose the cardio that you're doing beforehand. Oh, I think Tina left.
Okay. Okay, no, that's a good point. Thank you. I think she just went to the restroom. Sorry, I asked
Oh yeah.
a lot. I was like, sorry, Tina.
Oh,
But yeah,
did
okay.
she text? Did she send a message?
Yeah, I think she typed it in chat that she was just leaving to the restroom.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then the thing is that I've been doing the cardio sometimes like before, but earlier in the day I eat, and then later in the day I do a weightlifting. So I guess the creatine can be
That's
adjusted.
perfect. No, exactly. So that's actually perfect because you're not doing the cardio right before the workout. You're doing the cardio during the day.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. Like that's like a because I'm
Your
noticing.
new, it's your new routine.
Yeah.
I love your gym, by the way. It looks so good. I'm so impressed. I'm like,
you.
what? I'm like, look at her. She's a power lifter. No, I
Really
love it.
simple, but we're getting there.
No, I love it. I'm so happy for you guys.
Sorry, I'm
Um,
cooking eggs, but I'm actually paying attention. I promise.
no, I love it so much. No, I love it so much. It's perfect. So you're actually all your questions are amazing because like for the girls who are gonna watch this later, it's gonna really help them understand like how they can navigate through these things. And I had a lot of like Clara, who was here earlier and had to leave. She had a lot of questions about cardio, and that's why I posted that video recently about like the cardio as well, because a lot of people wonder like, oh, is running gonna, cancel out my lifting? Am I gonna not see results? And no, like cardio is really good for people. Everybody should engage in cardiovascular activity because we need healthy hearts. And women tend to have a lot of blood pressure issues as they get older from stress, and so it helps regulate stress. It helps enhance cardiovascular health. So overall, I'm never going to tell you guys to not do cardio, but yeah, you have to just think, like, remember energy balance, right? So if you feel like you're able to preserve energy, if you feel like after running in the morning, like you feel energized, you're able to rest and kind of balance it out and then go to the gym and lift, and you feel strong enough and you can tell that you're progressing through a program, like you're actually getting stronger, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's complementing. You just have a hybrid workout plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know like how many of the girls are there like starting to put cardio or like where they are in the weightlifting scheme, but I was like quitting cardio when I started weightlifting, which was okay.
I
Um
know.
it was just like too much. So for me that's like kind of I felt like that was like necessary just cuz I wasn't used to like burning calories that way and my
Mhm.
energy was like
Mhm. Yeah, and you didn't know how to eat, and you're like, Laura, I don't understand. And so it's so relevant that you're saying that because it's something that we work through together. Like I I try to explain this to a lot of people. I'm like, when you introduce something new into your life, it's new. So it's, you know what I mean? Like there's so many, you have your routine. It's gonna throw off your routine. It's gonna throw off like how you're feeling because you're like, okay, well, this is different now. Suddenly I feel more tired at this time, or I'm hungrier at this time, or I used to run a lot, but now it feels like overwhelming or it's a lot. But slowly but surely, and that's why I like the program. And I tell the girls, like, adapt to, you're the one that has to adapt to the program, right? Um, Hold on, let me just let Tina. Hey, Tina.
Oh, hi, Tina. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. No, I can't see you. I can hear you though. Yeah.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like you have to adapt to the program itself and allow yourself to get to know yourself. That's why I say like allow yourself to understand your body, how it responds to exercise and your routine and your nutrition, because now you're at a place where you're lifting and you're running, but it doesn't feel like either of them is weird in your schedule, right? You're just like, you now choose more intentionally, like, okay, when am I going to run? When am I going to lift? And you know how you're going to feel after a lift, and you know how you're going to feel after a run.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I think the challenge for me right now is just like putting the nutrition in all of that. So that's why
Yeah.
my questions are like, when do I eat the creatine? Because I had like 20 the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just putting it out there for the ladies that like cardio. It's like you can easily just bounce back into cardio, no problem. It's
Yes.
the weightlifting that was really like a big shot to the
Change.
brain, I guess.
Yeah, and it is more of the brain. It's the brain that's like, what the heck is going on, So that's why for the supplements, omega-3s, magnesium, these ones are really good. It helps with muscle repair. Okay. So if you're lifting weights and you want to repair your muscles, Tina, like faster, magnesium is really important. Vitamin D for bone health, for joints, for ligaments, for support, all that stuff for inflammation. It's really great. Okay, so these are the supplements that I suggest. A lot of people ask me like, what should I be taking? What should I do? This, this right here, this is the ideal. If you like coffee, don't worry. Coffee's actually good for lifting, okay? Huh?
Woo!
You're like, yeah. Yeah, no, I love coffee. I cannot wait to drink my coffee today, let me tell you. Okay, so we're almost done now, guys. We're at the end. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really happy that you guys were both here. Both of you, I've coached one-on-one in the past. You're both super strong. Tina, you guys can ask me some questions at the end, like literally just like, you know, fire them away. We're basically at the end of the presentation that I wanted to show you guys. So our goal with this program, the main goals here, and we spoke about them, is our daily physical activity. So 7K to 10K steps per day is essential. Okay, so for now, like I'm at 3K steps today. That's so bad. It's so bad. For 1 p.m., I'm like terrible. But by the end of today, I'm gonna have 10K. And I know that because I'm committing to that. Even though I have to sit and I have to do work on the computer and I have to do, I'm gonna commit to getting my 7,000 minimum and 10K ideally. Okay? So that's something that I need to include in my day because I know that I've gained weight, but in order to maintain where I am right now and not gain more weight, I need to adjust two things: my daily physical activity and my nutrition. Okay, so what am I doing tomorrow? I'm grocery shopping. I've planned this grocery shopping spree since last week. I'm going to Costco. I already know what I'm getting. I already have a plan. I already know what the servings of each meal I'm gonna have, and I know for how long I'm gonna have that food. So for the next 3 weeks, I know that my workouts are gonna be amazing because I'm gonna have the necessary energy to fuel my workouts. But I also know that if I juxtapose it, that if I like complement my workouts and my nutrition, bon appetit, Beatrice, with my physical activity, then I'm gonna be able to lean out. So my goal in the next few weeks, guys, in the next 5 months, is to reach my leanest, healthiest physique with the most amount of muscle. And I'm going to take you guys through this entire journey with me. And the goal is for you guys to do it with me, right? That's what this program is about, is to encourage each other, to share, to ask questions. And like, please, like Tina, Beatrice, send videos. I love the benching video that you sent, Beatrice. It was super helpful. Taisha also sent a video that was really helpful. I wish she could be here right now as well. But anyways, all these girls are gonna get this video, and Quinny, Megan, you guys know that I'm rooting for you and that I see you working out and I see you logging your stuff. MJ, you too. So, I really hope that through this process we become a little bit more comfortable messaging in the group chat. If anybody struggles getting into the group chat, please let me know because I'm gonna be messaging the developer today. It's been stressing me out a lot. Like I pay for this, and so it shouldn't be causing problems. Like I have to it's literally like an extra like monthly expense to have the group chats in the app. And so I'm like, listen, like if they're not working, there's a problem.
I
So
just recently updated my phone to, like, I had an Android and I had to deal with an iPhone. I was not able to enter your group chat with that phone
I know.
whatsoever. But as soon as I hopped on, so just ask her what phone
Yeah,
she has. You bring
yeah.
it up.
I
That
realize that most of the people that are struggling to get into the group chat have Androids, indeed. So I'm like, that's something that's I'm gonna have to message them about. Like I made this, I came to this conclusion a few weeks ago when I was talking to people, and I was like, well, what phone do you have? I spoke to you and some of the guys in the other workshop for men, they told me the same thing. And so I was like, okay, this is a problem. But anyways, so that being said, I need you guys to take a look at the ebook. Okay, the girls who still haven't, please take a look at the ebook because when it comes to nutrition and energy balance, all of that information is in there. Like literally, I packed it with information on how to eat properly according to your goals, how to enter a deficit, how to enter a surplus, what the purpose of these things is, how to complement it with movement. There's journaling stuff. There's macro tables with all kinds of different food groups that have all the macronutrients and the calories and everything laid out for you. There's recipes in there. Like there is literally so much information that you guys can utilize to help you in the process, okay? So what's next? I just said all of these things. So please don't be shy to ask questions. Check in with the group, send videos of forms, send questions. Literally any questions. Tina, you have a question about what you should be doing. You want to figure out like, okay, well, like a schedule for your workout routine that is best for you. You have specific aesthetic goal questions that you want to ask. Ask them in the group chat. That's literally where I will answer all the questions for everybody. And what's great is that so many of you share similar insecurities and fears and doubts that if you ask those questions, you're also going to be reassuring other people, you know, that might be a little bit more shy to like reach out, you know? Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura.
Yay. Well, do you guys have any questions? Like anything you want to ask? Literally go for it. It's just us three, you know? So you might as well.
How can I use, I'm getting issues with my knees a little bit, and I've always had issues with one knee in particular. How can I use like I feel like I should use a knee brace when I'm doing like anything leg related. Is that something that you would recommend?
So your knee issues, you had an ankle injury though, right? Or no,
No, I had a back injury, lower back
a
injury.
back injury. Yeah, okay. So that makes sense. I was like, but when you say when you're talking about your knee, what part of your knee? Because that matters. Is it like the inside, the front, the
It's
side, the
hard to say because I've had issues on that knee before from running, like
yeah.
multiple. So when I was a teenager, I had like my IT band was like messed up, or I had a hip flexor mobility issue, and then I think a year ago my IT band was like aggravated, so I had a fusion in the knee when I saw it on the MRI, and
Yeah,
now I'm
I remember
feeling
we
like
spoke about it.
but there's definitive instability. Like it feels like there's something wiggling in there. So I'm just like, is that me putting on too much weight on my knees or but it's just one knee. So that's why I'm
Hmm.
like maybe I
I
should
have the
use
same problem on my knee. And it's usually from instability either in my hips or at the ankles, which sounds weird, but it's like if you're not able to flex all of the muscles along your, let's say like your tibialis, for example, right? If you're not able to like stabilize, because you said it was your IT band, right? So if your IT band is super tense, it's probably because it's like pulling on your knee to kind of like stabilize it, keep it from like caving in probably because your ankles somewhat cave in, right? So your tibia, if your tibialis, which is starts on the inside of your ankle and then goes up, right? To the side of your knee, the outer part of your knee, right? If that's not properly flexing, then you're not stabilizing your leg, right? So then the upper part of your leg is going to get super tense up here because it's trying to keep you out this way, but then your ankle is also like caving in this way. So that's why I wanted to know like where the pain in the knee was, but because you say that it feels loose, to me, it seems like to me, I'm like, what happened? Tina just thought. To me, it feels like um your knee like might just not be like your foot might not be like stabilizing enough on the floor, you know? So I think it's a foot thing because I've looked at your feet before, you know, and we spoke about this, how like
Yeah, I have that issue with like keeping it
straight.
down.
Yeah. So have you been doing the calf raises and the tibialis exercises?
I have not been doing the tibialis exercises. I'm sorry.
No, but you know what I mean? Okay, bye, girly. Perfect. Thank you. I'll see you later. I'm gonna stop recording now. Uh, okay. Stop.
Like a one-on-one session again.